Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, social media, pop culture, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If this is your first time here to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning visitor on Alternative Tech and or a subscriber here on YouTube, I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support. All right, guys, so in gaming news, I have some great news for all of you who are still here from Just Survive. We had some great news from Robin Fluden from EG7, the CEO and co-founder of EG7. You guys can check out that video up there in the top right-hand corner.
We started off with CNN Business, archived, of course. Washington Post, New York Times, and NBC News retract reports on Giuliani. Ironically enough, it's written by Oliver Darcy. And you guys may recall that we talked about Oliver Darcy in the past because he believes that he single-handedly brought down Alex Jones. Yes, I actually mentioned Alex Jones. Let's see if the video gets demonetized. It is archived because even YouTube searches through our links, our SEOs. They look at everything now, and we can pretty much sit in a queue when it comes to checking our content for advertiser friendliness. So it can wait, or we can wait almost 20 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour before we could upload a video, not upload a video, but release the video for advertisement. And of course it can be kind of an issue when it holds us back. So breaking news can be a little annoying, and I think YouTube is just, putting more restrictions in than is necessary. But that's where we are right now in the culture war. The Washington Post, the New York Times, and NBC News on Saturday issued significant corrections, retracting earlier reporting that said Rudy Giuliani had been directly warned by the FBI that he was the target of a Russian disinformation campaign. Now, the article in and of itself is not particularly noteworthy in my personal opinion to bring to you guys, but the significance of this is to reiterate, as we have talked about, that the mainstream media doesn't have some body or authority that they have to report to. There's no oversight. So that allows them as the press, and or using the freedom of the press as they like to hide behind, allows them to engage in disinformation, misinformation, and narrative-driven content. The Hill. Biden's poor TV ratings against Trump is exactly what this administration wants. No, they don't. The 45th president was fairly obsessed with ratings. Given Donald Trump's experience as a TV reality star, that is not terribly surprising. No, it's not terribly surprising, but what isn't surprising is the fact that Biden's ratings across everything, television, streaming, internet, is abysmal. But, of course, he has the establishment to prop him up. He has the echo chambers of Twitter. But as I am hearing, which is kind of encouraging from some of my fellow commentators, is that the wokeness is starting to sour and society is starting to get tired and run down by the constant battle that's going on over this ideology, philosophy, this monoculture of the woke, the left, the progressives, the resistance that has spawned the woke culture and cancel culture and outrage mobs. And we see how terrible his ratings are. If you go to the White House official website here on YouTube, you can see that these are so terribly ratioed. So terribly ratioed. Even the daily briefings that were huge when President Trump was in office are getting hugely ratioed as well. So Biden can say whatever he wants about his particular ratings or thinking that he has better ratings, but there's only so much an establishment, the mainstream media, and Trump detractors can do to make Biden look good. But we all know now, and I think a lot of the not Trump voters are starting to realize that maybe they made a mistake. And I'm hearing from people who said they voted for Biden who say they regret having voted for him. So this is no surprise to me. Speaking of woke culture backfiring, ratings, and just society waking up to the nonsense that's been shoved down their throat, Coca-Cola pauses aggressive diversity plan after chief lawyer resigns. Well, after the extraordinary levels of pressure from just realistic, tangible, cogent people who can see what's going on, the level of manipulation. I did want to read a section of it. Some question whether Gayton's policies violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which says employees can't treat people differently based on their race. So in other words, you can't have a form of racism. You can't have that level of identitarianism. You can't have that level of critical race theory, because in reality, critical race theory essentially says that you do make changes or you do things because you want to make adjustments based upon people's races. Now, the idea here is it's supposed to be a good-intentioned or well-intentioned methodology. In other words, fairness and social justice. But the reality is you are saying we need to provide this particular group of people with these particular advantages over this other group of people who perceivably have some sort of an advantage. But you can see here, Coca-Cola has had to make these changes because people can see what's going on. They can see what's going on in society. They can see what's going on within the activism. They can see what's going on within woke culture and cancel culture. And so these changes are having a tremendous impact on Coca-Cola. And the reason I wanted to mention it too is because Coca-Cola is here in Atlanta. And of course, they've had to make these significant changes because they are losing money. And, you know, obviously that's going to be their bottom line. But I think the woke go broke culture is starting to have a significant impact on different agencies, different companies, different businesses, different organizations. And in a way, I'm kind of happy to see that that's happening. I would welcome your comments, your thoughts. Do you think that we're at a point now where the wokeness and the outrage mob is starting to sour within society, maybe even within your own country? Because many of you, of course, are from foreign countries, and it's always great to have you guys along and to get your thoughts and opinions. And so I just wanted to bring up this particular segment mixed in with the fact that Joe Biden's ratings and just his general, you guys may have seen where he mispronounced the vaccine. It's supposed to be vaccine.gov. He said vaccine.gum. But of course, even here, as I'm doing some of the videos, I can have my own misspeaks. But you guys clearly understand that it's just a simple misspeak and not particularly a problem with cognition. Although I do a lot of these videos before I have my breakfast and my coffee, so sometimes I can be thrown off a bit. But nonetheless, guys, I just wanted to bring you these particular articles this week.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. And of course, below this video, you can find links to my various social media, to include Alternative Tech. I would encourage you guys to follow me there because I do daily post on those, more frequently than not. And of course, if you're here on YouTube, that would be the channel icon appearing right there on the screen. You can click on that, then select notifications, because it's so important for you guys to be aware that there's content here on the channel. Yes, of course there is. And then of course, the Friday vlog, which is every Friday. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. And I'll see you guys right there behind that camera next week.